Welcome, and thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. We're going to keep this webinar really conversational and practical and focus on everything you need to know about renewing your ECIP subscription as both or either a grower or supplier. Today, I'll be joined by Deanna Monroe, Technical Program Manager for EFI, who will help us walk through how renewal works behind the scenes and what you should be thinking about as your renewal maybe approaches. First things first, a few housekeeping items. We love questions always in our webinars. So if you have a question, feel free to add that to the chat or the Q&A feature on Zoom. Or if we're on LinkedIn, feel free to add that in the comment feature. Finally, my colleague Alexandra is running all things tech and will be siphoning through your questions. So if you see Alexandra pop up or we have a technical difficulty, she'll be helping us through that. Um, all right, I'd like to welcome up our technical expert, Deanna. Come on up. Hi,
Hi,
welcome.
thank
Thanks for
you.
joining us. Do you want to do a quick introduction? Who are you?
Hi, yes, of course. Hi, I'm Deanna Monroe. I'm the technical product manager here at EFI. I work primarily on ECIP. I manage the product, all the data therein, and our support team. Welcome.
Yay. All right, we're just going to chit chat, but before we hop in, today this is what we're going to cover. We're going to walk through the renewal process for both growers and or suppliers and how they're different or similar. We're going to learn that. Including both differences between renewing manually and or auto renewal, what to expect, how invoicing works, and how you should update your payment information on the platform. We'll then wrap up with a quick look at what's coming next for ECIP, and we'll save time for questions at the end. This could be a really dry topic, talking about renewals and invoicing, so we'll try to be as entertaining as possible. Okay, let's take a step back. Let's rewind. Diana, when we talk about renewal and ECIP, what does that even mean?
Yeah, so renewal in ECIP means that your subscription is renewing. So if you paid April 12th, 2024, your subscription will renew April 11th, 2025. So renewing your subscription and keeping it active means that you can continue to use those wonderful ECIP tools and resources, and you'll be able to track your progress through the assessment and continue to engage in the platform year over year.
Awesome. And so my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is there's two main ways to pay for your ECIP subscription. That's kind of hard to say. Either through the auto renewal on your credit card or manually through an invoice. Can you walk me through those differences and if I'm right there?
Yeah, definitely. No, you're right. So you can pay directly in the platform with your credit card, just logging in. If you log in for the first time, or if you're logging in after your subscription has lapsed, the first page you'll come up on is the paywall page. So you can enter in your credit card information to renew your subscription. And then moving forward, your subscription will auto renew with that same credit
Gotcha.
card a year from your subscription date. Invoices have to be requested. So, and I think Alexandra's going to drop that link into the chat. You can request your invoice via that link, and they do not auto renew. You have to keep requesting it year over year.
Okay, so if I have a credit card, like the first time I go into ECIP, I put it in the credit card, we're good to go. But really, if you're doing an invoice, which I'm sure a lot of people are because it's kind of a chunk of your balance, and I'm sure most companies want to see that invoice, they need to do it manually through the link.
Exactly, manually through the link, and you can also use a credit card when you request the invoice as well.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. So you don't have to do a check or wire payment through the invoice. You can still just, but you have that invoice. That makes sense. That's what EFI would want to see. They'd be like, "Where's your invoice?" Great question. Okay, but I'm sure that's also where you want to make sure that your payment details are current and up to date, and that becomes an important part of this process, right?
Exactly. You want to make sure that credit card information is correct and up to date.
Okay, so another area that I think can be a little bit confusing is we kind of have a lot of dates in ECIP. We have like renewal date, we have certification dates, we have engagement cycles. Clarify.
Yeah, we have so many dates within ESIP because we're just so big and we're evolving and we're changing. But luckily for our users, for you guys, your your subscription date is independent of all of those other cycle dates. So you can be confident and understanding that the date that you subscribe, you're going to renew a year following. So that's independent of if you have a certification on file or if independent of our engagement cycles. But just a little point of clarification, if you're a grower and you received free access because of a certification, your subscription validity and your certification validity will coincide. So if you have a EFI certification that expires in 3 years, that means that your subscription cycle will follow the same. But for those of us that paid via credit card through the platform or via invoice, that cycle is separate from all of the other ECIP cycles.
Okay, just to make sure my brain, my tiny little brain is wrapping around this. If you have a certification, which Alexander is going to put our 16 benchmarked approved programs in the chat, if you have one of those, then my certification, my engagement cycle is good for the duration of that. But if I'm just normal and I have a normal ECIP subscription, I paid the $200 as a grower, that's when I have that yearly April 11th or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. That makes sense, I think. And Alexandra put that 16 benchmarked approved programs in the chat. And just a heads up, y'all, we are going to save questions for the end. So keep them coming. We're going to gather them. Just know I'm not ignoring them. They'll be at the end. Okay. So I lost my place on what we're supposed to talk about. One quick second. Okay, let's talk about what users can expect when leading up to renewal. What kind of notifications will they receive? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we want to make sure everyone is prepared for renewal season. So our users are going to receive multiple notifications ahead of that renewal date. So this will help you guys prepare if you need to manually renew or if you need to go into the platform and update your credit card information. But the first notification will come from the ECIP team about a month-ish before your subscription is up for renewal. That includes credit card payments and invoice payments.
Okay.
That next notification will come directly from the platform for credit card payments. So that notification from the platform will go to that person's email address. And within that email, there will be a link for you to update your credit card information directly. So if you're good to go, don't need to update your credit card information, and you receive that notification, there's nothing else you need to do. Your credit card is going to be charged and automatically renewed. But if you need to update your credit card information, you can do so by clicking on that link. And that notification is sent out usually about 15 days before you renew. And then for
Okay.
our invoicing folks, there is an additional email that the ECIP team will send out as a reminder that you can either pay via credit card in the platform or you need to go ahead and request that new invoice.
Okay, so in an ideal world, we probably have no surprises.
There are absolutely no surprises.
Everybody should know what's happening. We have
Yes,
emails.
ideally. Ideally.
Emails. Okay, but I'm sure that there are sometimes surprises. And what are some common issues that you see in this process?
Yeah, so as I alluded to earlier, turnover, staff turnover,
Yeah.
it happens, and there are different credit cards associated with different staff. So we'll see that a lot. We'll see an account that'll try to auto renew and it fails because that person no longer works at the organization. That credit card is no longer valid. So we encourage everyone to stay on top of those notifications and let us know ahead of time that there is some changes and that you can go in and update your credit card information. Yeah, I'd say that's typically the most common issue is that staff change over and updating that information.
Yeah, and you want to be sure that you have the most current person's contact information in there. So they're not only getting those annoying, okay, not annoying, the renewal notices, but they're also getting like our monthly newsletters. They're knowing what's going on with like upcoming announcements and events and cool blogs that I write. So you should all be on that because that's coming from me. All right, pitch for myself. Let's walk through, if you could, the platform. And so you can show us, do a little screen share of what you need to do, what you need to manage, and also maybe a little call out for how this is different or similar for both grower and supplier.
Definitely. All right. Can you see my screen there?
Looks great.
Perfect. So this is my demo supplier account right now. But as Madeline mentioned, how to update that credit card information in the platform is exactly the same for growers and suppliers. So your homepage where you log in, whatever that looks like as a supplier and a grower, you want to navigate up to this little person icon in the top right to the right of the about, and you want to click company. So your company page is where you update your company name, your supply chain number if you're a supplier, your users. It shows you which organizations you're connected to. But what I want to focus on is this gray billing box. It's going to show you when your subscription renews. And then if you click on the manage, it will let you update your payment information. And this is obviously a demo account, so you won't see the credit card number here, but the last four of your credit card will be displayed here. So you can verify the card information here, or you can update and add in the new credit card information. And then, like I mentioned, the system will automatically retry the card for 2 weeks. So make sure you update your credit card information within that time frame so that the system will automatically retry it and there are no lapses in your subscription. No worries if you missed that window. Reach out to us and we will update that information for you.
You bring up a really, wait, are you done?
Yes.
Okay, great. Didn't want to derail you. You bring up a really great point though about lapse. Like if somebody was like, we totally forgot that Steve, who had his credit card in there, like left the company 6 months ago and they didn't get the email because the new person isn't in the system and they do lapse as both a grower and a supplier. What does that mean and what does that look like on the engagement profile, on the buyer dashboard? Like that sounds scary. Lapse sounds scary. Can you walk me through what that looks like and how to remedy it?
Yeah. So as a grower, if unfortunately your subscription lapses, you show up on your supplier's dashboard as lapsed, and it'll have the date next to it, letting them know when your subscription lapsed or when your subscription was to renew. And as a grower and that lapsed subscription, that means that your stars no longer influences your supplier's engagement profile. So your lapsed grower subscription negatively affects your supplier's engagement profile, which then is shown on the buyer dashboard. So that could hurt the supplier in the eyes of the buyer.
Right.
And then for the supplier, if you are lapsed, you will show as grayed out and it'll say lapsed on the buyer dashboard. So your buyer is going to be able to know immediately that you did not renew your ECIP subscription and that it has lapsed.
Scary. So keep
So
it up to date,
scary.
people. Keep it up to date. Also, you don't want to be that grower that's like, well, we're the one that's like knocking stars off of our supplier. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, no,
But as soon as you pay, then you're back up and running, right?
immediately.
Okay. So it's just get that thing updated. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we transition over to Q&As, which keep those questions coming, keep people, we love to see it. Can you talk about what's ahead? We have a big, exciting summer coming, what users can expect from ECIP in 2026.
Yeah, definitely. ECIP is ever growing and evolving to match the ever and evolving landscape that we work within in agriculture. So we're just trying to keep up and make sure that we are rigorous enough to ensure that continuous engagement in the platform. So those enhancements and improvements are rolling out all the time. We're really excited about this summer and our Engagement 3.0 release. We are going to talk a little bit more about that at our event at OPS. We're really excited about. Madeline is hosting and planning and managing all of that. Super excited. And we just launched FLC Lab, so that has kicked off, and there's a lot of engagement there and connecting with growers. Many more exciting updates and events in the future for ECIP, but yeah, we're just really excited for the future and what we continue to roll out.
Yeah. Yeah, more information to come on Engagement 3.0 and our annual OPS event, which will be our launch preview for that engagement cycle. Another key reason to keep your contact information up to date in the system, because when I go to send that newsletter that is all about these events and these upcoming engagement cycles, I'm going to pull who's in the system. So keep it up to date so you too can be invited to hang out with us in Monterey. Love it. I'm so excited for the summer. I love summer with ESIP. It's hectic, it's crazy, it's busy, but it's super fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's head into some questions real quick. All right, I'm pulling up my question chat here thing. Yeah, and then I'm just keeping that support email right on the screen. So if you're like, I have a really in-depth question, feel free to shoot us a question there. But first off, what's the control number? Do you have a guidance document with the renewal process we can share with our growers?
Yeah, so the control number is actually an internal EFI number that we use and that's for the invoices. We use to order and track the invoices. So that control number in the invoice form, it should automatically populate, so you don't have to worry about that number. Again, it's just an internal number that helps our accounting team keep track of the invoices. And then, yeah, I don't think, and Madeline, you might be able to help me with this. I don't know if we have an exact guidance document on the renewal process, but I'm sure we can whip one up for you to be able to share with your growers.
Yeah, for sure. We have a grower one pager about like why you should be in ECIP and like what's the benefits, but not specifically about renewals. So if you want to cook something up with me, Alexandra will put my email in the chat, and I love to collaborate and we can come up with something that works for your company and maybe that works for the ECIP community as a whole. So Alexandra, put my email in the chat, and if you want to collaborate on something that looks specific for your growers, send me an email. All right, great. Yay. Okay. What should I do if I need a new invoice or my team requires updated billing details?
Yeah, so I would tell you guys to just reach out to my team at support@ethicalcharterprogram.org. We can get you that link to the invoice so you can request an updated invoice. And if you need to update the credit card information in the platform, we can walk you through how to do that in the platform if your subscription hasn't renewed just yet, because it's a little bit of a different, more tailored process. But yeah, reach out to us directly and we can walk you through that process for sure.
Okay, great. This is a great question we just got in. Can growers be removed from the supplier dashboard if they are no longer part of the supply chain in that renewal year so that that lapsed subscription does not negatively impact our, there being a supplier, score?
Absolutely. And currently, you as a supplier can't do that in the platform right now. But again, reach out to us at support, and we will happily remove that grower from your supply chain for you, and it will be removed from your dashboard, and it will no longer negatively affect your engagement profile.
Love that. Easy to do on your end. Is that going to
Easy.
be an update maybe in the future that they could do it themselves?
Yeah, we're looking at some validation in that as well, so folks just don't
Mm,
get rid of people that aren't
right.
engaging.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. That would be a good way to cheat the system.
Oh yeah.
Always looking out for those. All right, up next. If I'm set up for auto renewal, do I need to take any action each year?
Yeah, so I would suggest that you log into the platform, how I just showed you, and just double check that that credit card information is correct and up to date. But other than that, if you're already set up to auto renew, you have been the administrator for the entire cycle, then you should be good to go. You wouldn't necessarily have to do anything, but just as a double check, log in and make sure that that credit card number is correct before the system automatically renews you.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, we've kind of talked about this, but maybe just be a little bit more explicit with this guy. What are the differences between renewing as a grower versus a supplier?
Yeah, there is really no difference. Both suppliers and growers that pay via credit card will automatically renew, and they'll be able to edit that information the same pathway in the platform. And both user types who requested an invoice will again have to request that invoice if they want to pay again via invoice. And I guess the growers that have the free subscription through the certification, just making sure that certification is up to date. And if there needs to be any updates to the certification validity time, reach out to us at support so we can update that subscription time.
Awesome. That makes sense. Any other last minute questions? We have a few minutes. We knew this wouldn't take a full 30 minutes. You do not want to listen to us drone on for 30 minutes about invoicing and you paying. So we'll keep it a little short unless we have a last minute question come in. But just to kind of recap and remind everybody, just make sure that you understand if you're set up for auto renewal or if you're paying via invoice. Keep an eye out for email notifications coming from the ECIP team and also an auto reminder coming 15 days before if you're set up for that auto renewal. And make sure your payment information is up to date. And when in doubt, what did we came up with this? When in doubt, reach out. When in doubt, reach out to support. at ethicalcharterprogram.org. Deanna's team is extremely responsive, and I know sometimes it can be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to reach out to support my questions aren't going to get answered. That is not true. You will get
No.
a response, and your problem will be fixed within a couple of days for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Deanna, for helping me understand how to walk through and renew your ECIP subscription. Thank you to everybody for joining us, and keep an eye on us this summer. Lots of exciting things come up, and we'll see you next time.